A warm good afternoon to all of you. In this talk, I will be discussing on the development of titanium diboride, titanium bilayer composites using spark plasma sintering for armor applications. I will be first introducing the armor materials, then how titanium diboride is a suitable armor material, then I will be discussing the design scheme followed, and then the various studies done on this material by our group. There are mainly two categories of armors, body armor and vehicle armor. In this particular talk, I will be focusing on the material development for ballistic vest. At present, the armor package scheme consists of a hard face attached to a soft packing in such a way when a projectile hits the hard face, the projectile gets eroded and deaccelerated, and the soft packing acts as a catcher to it. For this design scheme, when a projectile hits any target material, the perforation happens in three stages: shattering, erosion, and catching. While developing any armor materials, two important aspects should be kept in mind. Firstly, the system must provide a multi-head capability, and secondly, the materials with different properties should be assembled in the most advantageous way. If we consider all these parameters into consideration, we can say that for developing any promising armor material, two main aspects should be kept in mind. Firstly is the material selection, and secondly is the effective design scheme. Based on the studies accomplished by several research groups, it can be said that titanium diboride is suitable for armor applications since it has high hardness, high elastic modulus, it provides good ballistic properties, it has higher density and higher compressive strength. The only thing is it provides moderate fracture toughness. All these hardness, elastic modulus, ballistic efficiency, compressive strength and density are the properties which are required for developing a armor material. So based on this, we can say it is a suitable material for armor applications. But the main issue is titanium diboride materials are basically having poor sinterability property and they are having moderate toughness. To work on this, we should use either pure powders along with suitable sintering additives. To avoid any exaggerated grain growth and formation of any secondary phases, spark plasma sintering technique should be used, which is well known rapid sintering technique. Metal additives are well known in providing a material good fracture toughness property and increasing the sintering of any ceramic material. For this, we have chosen titanium as an additive to TiB2. So that because firstly its crystal structure, coefficient of thermal expansion and density are comparable with that of titanium diboride material. It provides good wetting with the TiB2 grains during liquid phase sintering. It allows densification of the material at lower temperatures and increases the fracture toughness because it is a material. It increases the fracture toughness of the ceramic through ductile metal bridging phenomenon. Now coming to the design aspect, if we consider various studies done by several research groups, they say that multi-layer armor plates are well suitable as if we compare them to single layer armor plates. Keeping that thing in mind, we took double layer material in such a way there is a hard layer, this is rich in TiB2 and less in titanium, and a ductile backing which is slightly rich in metal phase and less in ceramic phase. So overall we can say that we choose our titanium diboride titanium system with a double layer design scheme, and we opted spark plasma sintering route to develop a promising armor material. Now coming to the result part, looking at the XRD, it is clear that we are able to retain the respective individual identities of the starting powder in the sintered product. This is pure titanium starting powder and sintered product, and this is starting powder titanium diboride and sintered product. In the bilayered composites, an additional peak of TiV is seen to be formed in the ball mill powder, which is also present in the sintered product. The absence of titanium for 10 weight % composite indicates that the titanium in the material got consumed via some reactions happening during the process to form some phase. And while the titanium was, some unreacted titanium was seen to be present in the 20 weight % composition, which indicated that some titanium got unreacted during the reaction. To find out what could be the sintering reactions which could occur during the process, we made use of HSC software, and we found that for our system, there are two possible reactions. When we plotted delta G versus temperature plot for these reactions, we found that only reaction 1 is feasible for our system. So now the formation of TiV in our system, which is being seen in XRD, is now supported. SEM was taken, and it is seen that titanium is segregated at the grain boundaries of titanium diboride, and due to liquid phase sintering, the boundaries have developed rounded and blunt morphology. Crack was generated via Vickers indentation, and it was seen that the material underwent transgranular fracture mode. Comparing my result data with that of research work done by other people, it could be clearly seen that we are able to produce monolithic titanium diboride having higher hardness, but the relative density is still on the lower side. But however, on titanium addition, we are able to produce almost 100% densified product. On comparing the results obtained for the composite developed by us with the other literature work done on TiV2 titanium system, it is evident that we are able to achieve high mechanical properties for our system at lower temperature, pressure, and less time. The material was further taken for ballistic testing, and these parameters were followed during the testing. The results are that after adding titanium to our system, the ballistic property of the material has slightly reduced. However, the property is on a higher side as compared to the system, which is TiV2 molybdenum silicide system developed by our group. It is still on the higher side. Fractographs were taken for these samples, and we can see for the 10 weight % composite, intergranular fracture was observed, while for 20 weight % composite, transgranular fracture mode was observed, which indicated that as we increase the titanium content to our system, the predominant fracture mode changes from intergranular to transgranular mode. For the bilayer composite, both the intergranular and transgranular fracture modes were observed. If we compare the ballistic results with those done for other armors, it is clear that for TiV2 based composites, the depth of penetration is very less, while the ballistic efficiency is on the higher side as compared to other materials. Summarizing my results, we are able to develop monolithic titanium diboride having higher hardness, and on titanium addition, we are able to achieve almost 100% sintered density. We are able to achieve high fracture toughness for the bilayered composite with almost equivalent ballistic property with that of monolithic titanium diboride. I would like to thank my co-supervisor, Dr. Rajesh Balani, My thanks to Mr. M. Kawara and Mr. T. Osawa of Fuji Electronic Industrial Corporation Limited, Japan for sample preparation. Thanks to Mr. V.V. Bhanuprasad and Mr. S.G. Savio, DMRL Hyderabad for ballistic testing. I thank DRDO for the financial support.